in his antechambers of splendid privacy, antechambers of splendid privacy. Well, you have got around the main living room, many rooms all around here. In the temple, you have got rooms and rooms and rooms before you go into the main hall, you see, and antechamber. A splendid privacy. Well, splendid privacy, you see. You can go and live in one of these antechambers. Matter and soul in conscious union meet. Well, that is the rare kind of a meeting. That marriage you was talking of form and mind. Here it is matter and soul, you see, matter and soul. In conscious union meet like lovers in a lonely secret place. So he has already created a secret place, the antechamber of privacy, which is of course lonely, antechamber, you see. So there is a private room there, where matter and soul, matter, the form, and soul, the spiritual quality, like lovers in lonely secret place, in the class of a passion not yet unfortunate. In the class of a passion, the lovers are meeting, they are clasping each other, but that is a happy class yet, so far. It is not unfortunate. It is not yet unfortunate. It will become unfortunate the moment it goes into the earthly world. In those splendid chambers, it is a very happy clasp, but when it descends upon earth, it becomes unfortunate. In the class of a passion, not yet unfortunate. Passion because it is a meeting of lovers. They are intensely attached to each other, matter and soul. They join the strength and sweetness and delight. So that class, that marriage, strength and sweetness, strength of matter, sweetness of the soul between them, because they are joining, delight of that union, and mingling make the high and low worlds one, the upper and the lower they become one. Intruders from the formless infinite, daring to break the inconscious reign, the spirits leap towards body, touches ground. Intruders from the formless infinite, well, they are coming from the infinite, they are coming as intruders here, you see. Well, although they are intruders, they are coming with a certain purpose, with some good intention also, you see. Intruders from the formless infinite, formless, open infinite. Formless, in other words, when there is a substance, there is content, then it becomes form. Daring to break the inconscious reign, they are coming down. What is there up there? They are trying to come into the inconscience here. The spirits leap towards body, touches ground. So he is describing about that world, how it is going to get into this inconscient here. In other words, this is a sort of a prelude to involution. Formless infinite, daring to break into inconscient reign. It is there up superconscious. It is going to be in the inconscious. The spirits leap towards body, touches ground. It becomes the physical. That's a leap. The spirit, matter, which are described, although they are meeting in a private chamber and all that thing, when spirit, the soul, descends here and meets matter here, then the spirits leap towards body, touches ground, as yet unwrapped in earthly lineaments. Again the word same lineament, contours, features, bright features here. As yet unwrapped in earthly lineaments. Unwrapped. They are free of the lineaments of the earth. Already it wears outlasting death and birth. Already it wears outlasting death and birth. So when it is coming into the inconscient, when that lapse is there, then it is going to meet death and birth. As yet unwrapped in earthly lineaments, It has not yet come fully, but it is there. Already it wears, outlasting death and birth. Wears as a lineament, as a garment.
Form now, physical form.
Form, yeah. When it is coming down here, it is going to meet that possibility.
It's just the physical form of the body.
Yeah. As yet unwrapped in earthly lineament, already it wears, outlasting death and birth. Outlasting. It doesn't care about birth, but he is preparing for that, you see. Outlasting death and birth, convincing the abyss by heavenly form. Why it is outlasting? It wants to convince the inconscious, the lower here, a covering of its immortality, allied to the luster of various rank, fit to endure the rub of change and time. So how it is going to happen here? Rub of change and time, that is the character of this world here, change and time. Various rank, allied to the luster, when the person is wearing that thing, he is allied to that kind of thing. A tissue mixed of the soul's radiant light, mixed of soul's radiant light, and matter's substance of sign, burden, force. That is the beauty, that is the whole tissue mixed of soul's radiant light. Soul has, of course, radiant light. Matter is a sign, burden, force. It is a sign. It is loaded with force. And it is a purpose here. A tissue mixed of the soul's radiant light and matter's substance of sign, burden, force. Imagine vainly in our mind thin air and abstract phantasm mode of mental make. Now these are parenthesis line. A tissue mixed of soul's radiant light and matter's substance of sign, burden, to force. It feels what earthly bodies cannot feel, and is more real than the grosser frame.
Is this not a subtle physical body?
You see, it has, he has already said, heavenly form, convincing the abyss by heavenly form, covering its immortality to the luster of various rank. He has already said, outlasting death and birth. In that context, you see.
But it doesn't say what is
A tissue mixed of soul's radiant light and matter's substance. Both are there. Light and substance. Soul and matter. It feels what earthly bodies cannot feel, and is more real than the grosser form. After the falling of mortality, now, well, that is what is happening below. While it's coming down, you see. Now, he is telling you what happens when you go away from here, the reverse. When you leave this physical body, for instance, then how things happen, what things happen. After the falling of mortality's cloak, you have discarded the gross physical body. After the falling of mortality's cloak, lighten is its weight, to heighten its ascent. You throw away the heavy burden of the physical, you become light. For what? To heighten your ascent. The physical is removed, is gone. The heavy weight of the physical is removed there as a burden on you. You become light and heighten is ascent. See. Now, I was looking for this its. The future marvels wander in its gulfs, in its antechambers. It goes back to the wonder sphere. In its antechamber, and then intruder from the formless, and yet a tissue mixed of, so that it feels what earthly bodies cannot feel. See? And tissue mixed with the soul's radiant light, imagine vainly in our minds here, an abstract phantasm moved of mental mayhem. Now that it is already it wears. Oh, the spirit.
Yeah, the spirit sleep.
The spirit.
This is spirit which takes on the body.
No, the spirit. A tissue mixed with the soul's radiant light and matter's substance of hive, of sign burdened fold. Imagine vainly in our minds in an abstract phantasm mold of mental mayhem. It feels that earthly bodies cannot feel and is more than this grosser frame. After the falling of mortality's cloak, lightened in its way to heighten its ascent, refined to the touch of finer environment, it drops old pattern palms or denser stuff, old patterned palms. The shroud which you put on, pall, a covering on a dead body. So that's the kind of thing. Pall. See, the whole description is now of ascent, of after death, you see. It drops old patterned palms of denser stuff, the gross physical. Cancel the grip of earth's descending pull. Earth is pulling you down. That is cancelled, removed. And bear the soul from world to higher world. Till in the naked ether of the peaks, the spirit's simplicity alone is left, the eternal being's first transparent roof. What is the first transparent roof of the eternal being? The spirit's simplicity. But when it must come back to its mortal load, when it has gone after death like that. Now, when it wants to take another birth, when it must come back to its mortal load and the heart ensemble of earth's experience, then its return resumes that heavier dress. So, see, in other words, while you are living, you discard the physical, you discard the vital, you discard the mental, go up and live there now. While you are coming, taking another birth, you pick up from the cosmic scene what kind of mind you need, the elements of mind. You pick up the elements of life, you pick up the elements of the subtle physical, and then take the birth here, you see. So, the spirit, but when it must come back to its mortal load and the hard ensemble of earth's experience, then his return resumes that heavier dress. For long before Earth's solid West, was forged, our physical, solid West, physical, gross physical, sthula deha. For long before Earth's solid West was forged, by the technique of the atomic void, a lucent envelope of self-disguise was woven round the secret spirit in things. See, long before you had taken the birth here, what are done? A lucent envelope of self-disguise was woven around the spirit while you were coming down here. By what method? By the technique of the atomic void. What is the technique of the atomic void? The technique of the atomic void, the process by which there is the fragmentation takes place. Atomic void. See, fragmentation. Basically, you are assuming a physical form. So, the elements coming from this one, the 5 elements, Sankhya, he is basically describing the Sankhya philosophy, Mahat Tattva, and then the Sankhya part of it. By the technique of atomic void, Sankhya means divide. You have got earth, water, air, and Akash, 5 elements exactly. Yeah. Earth, water, fire, air, and sky. Sky, 5. Fine. So these are the elements, these are the technique by element. Sankhya part of the physical. Long before a solid waste was formed, by the technique of the atomic coil, a loosened envelope of self-disguise means you take the subtle part of these 5 elements and prepare your subtle body first, and then take birth here. See, the soul has taken birth means what? But it has to prepare its own physical body, its own structure, its own outer mechanism. A loose and envelope of self-disguise, well, it is a kind of disguise by itself, was woven round the secret spirits and things. The subtle realms from those bright sheaths are made. For long before a solid vessel was formed, solid, that is the physical, by the technique of the atomic coil. Technique of the atomic coil, he is indicating the Sankhya process of materialization. A loosened envelope of self-disguise, it is a self-disguise of envelope, loosened at the same time, was woven round the secret spirit in things.